Now look, man, I like Hideo Kojima as a human. I've met him a couple of times. Really nice guy, really humble dude, at least the way he presents himself. I have no reason to believe that's not accurate. Good guy. I'm a fan of his work. I haven't played everything, but I've played most everything. Everything, even that GBA game where you have to go outside and stuff. I mean, I love his stuff. Metal Gear is one of my favorite franchises of all time. The industry's lucky to have somebody so out-of-the-box, creative, batshit crazy. The man's great. Got nothing but love for Hideo Kojima. With that said, Hideo Kojima, stay the fuck out of Silent Hill, man. Do not go there. Turn your car around. Go somewhere else, okay? Do not go to Silent Hill. It's a mistake. There's a lot of rumblings about this. There was a report 2 days ago that Konami is getting back into traditional video games. Castlevania is in production in Konami, Japan. Metal Gear 3 Snake Eater is being reimagined, I think, by a second-party Konami studio. And then there's even rumblings that they're remastering all the Metal Gear games. All that's without Kojima, right? And then the news that they're also doing Silent Hill with some sort of unnamed Japanese publisher, producer, whatever. Well, then the news comes out today from, I think it's a Japanese magazine or website, Jamatsu, and apparently the reporter over there, Sal Romano, is very, reputable. And he says, well, fellas, it's actually the unnamed Japanese publisher supporter is Sony, who is funding Silent Hill, and it's being made through Kojima Productions. Now, whether Kojima is directing it or just overseeing it, I don't know. I hope the guy's directing it, but who knows? So Kojima's been dropping hints about Silent Hill for the last couple of months, whether it is or not tied to Abandon, who the fuck knows at this point, but he's been dropping those hints. Maybe Sony's funding Abandon, and Kojima's overseeing it, and it is Silent Hill, but whatever. So he's been dropping these hints, regardless of Abandon, about Silent Hill. And then we have these news stories. And we've heard Sony's been circling Silent Hill for the last couple months in various rumors too. So for the sake of this conversation, this video, let's assume this is a pretty good rumor. There's a good chance it's accurate. Okay, we're gonna go with that, at least for this time. So on one hand, I'll tell you, I think it's perfection. I think it's brilliant. I think it's wonderful. This is extremely exciting news. I think for a lot of reasons, right? I think first off, there's a good chance it's going to be a really good game, right? Because whatever you thought of Death Stranding, some people think it was the one of the greatest games of all time. Seriously, I'm not joking. There's a vocal group that think that. And there's a number of people who are like, oh, it's dull as dirt, boring as crap, right? What I think most people can agree with, if you think back to, I think it was PSX when Andy House comes out and he's like, or on the video and he's like, announced the partnership, there was an expectation of the next big thing, like the next great grand franchise. And then Kojima goes off and makes pretty much the most expensive art house video game of all time. And I don't know if it made its money back. It probably did. I think it sold about 6 million copies, which is certainly nothing to sneeze at. I wish my last game sold 6 million copies. It's a big deal. It's a success, I assume. But it's not the level of success. I think people were thinking big franchise kind of thing. And what I will tell you is, and I am absolutely, don't come at me, I'm not comparing my talent or experience or success with Kojima, or certainly not George Lucas, but what I will tell you is there are a creative type, and I am one of them, and I think these other people I mentioned, and I know a bunch of other people in the industry that are similar, that are really creative, blisteringly so, but if you give us too much freedom, we kind of screw the pooch a little bit, right? Because we need to be sort of in a playpen of, within this room, within this field, go fucking nuts, Jaffe, Kojima, Lucas, whoever, whatever. But you got to work within a little bit of a parameter here, because otherwise you're going to make shit that people aren't going to get, and it's not going to be worth the investment, right? So I think this is brilliant. I think it's brilliant for the game. I think it's brilliant for Kojima. He needs this. I'm not giving him career advice, but I think he needs this. The man needs a big fucking hit to show he's not just Metal Gear, right, in terms of sales. More importantly, I think Sony needs this. Sony, I've been saying, Sony needs to diversify that portfolio, right? I love the idea. If this game even feels an inkling like PT, whether it's first person, third person is irrelevant, but to have a horror franchise exclusive to PlayStation 5, I think is exactly what they need. I think they need more single-player games, not just game service attempts, but single-player games that really do feel like they're not walking simulator action games, which I love those. I love Last of Us 2. I love God of War 2018. I adore Ghost of Tsushima. But this is more of a gamey game, you know? It's more of a horror staple. I just think it's right. I think Sony needs it. I think it would be wonderful. So there's nothing about this I don't like. I'm super excited for him. Especially if he's got Del Toro with him, man. If he's got Del Toro with him, fuck. I don't know how much Del Toro was PT and how much Kojima was, but even if it's just Kojima, the guy's great. Fucking genius. I want to see what he's going to make in this space. I'm excited. It sounds like a great marriage of business and creativity and genre, and I'm in. But don't fucking make Silent Hill. Don't fucking make Silent Hill. That's the dumb. In all of this is the dumb. People were talking yesterday when they were talking about the Sony trial games. And I don't think that the trial game thing where you start the timer at the download is going to be the final way they do it if this actually becomes a rolled out program. I think I think that's just for now. I don't know that. But people were talking about, like, Sony always has these great ideas and they fuck it up. Always one thing where they fuck it up. And that's what they were alleging or pointing to. In this case, it's kind of true. It's like you've got it all on the board, Sony. You're about to cross the finish line. Well, let's make it Silent Hill. No, it's dumb. Let me work this out for you guys. It's not too late to change it. Maybe it is. Silent Hill collectively, if you put all of the games in the franchise together since 1996, has sold about 9 to 10 million copies. Not one game, the whole franchise. It is a cult hit. It is a beloved hit. Hardcore fans adore it. But my guess would be those same hardcore fans would show up for a Hideo Kojima Sony exclusive horror game, regardless if it was called Silent Hill or you can call it fucking PT. Nobody gives a shit what you call it. But if it's a brand new horror game from Kojima, from Sony, marketed like Sony can market these games, it's not going to be like, oh, we left so much money on the table because there's no Pyramid Head in it and we didn't call it Silent Hill. Are there hardcore Silent Hill fans that would be like, but I want to know what happened? Yeah, sure, there are. But if you say 9 million copies sold across the board, maybe you're looking at like 2 million hardcore Silent Hill fans and maybe, 2 million kind of periphery fans. It's not enough to give up what you're about to give up, which is Konami is going to be another cook in the kitchen. I assume, unless the deal is Konami has nothing to do with it, they have no creative involvement. Kojima has Final Cut or Sony has Final Cut, but it's hard to imagine they'd give up their franchise and do that. So Konami's going to be in the kitchen to some extent. Why do you need that, right? You are going to be building, just like with Spider-Man, Sony, like you're doing in the movies, you're going to be building out and buttressing up someone else's intellectual property. Again, unless the deal says that Sony will forevermore have Silent Hill, at least in movies and video games. It seems unnecessary for what you're going to get. You guys with the right game, and it looks like you're set up to have the right game. It's a great franchise. You need the franchise. Kojima's great. If he has Del Toro, it's even greater. It's a great genre. You could have your own movies and haunted mazes and a TV series and you think PlayStation Productions wants to get into the Silent Hill business, or you think they want to get into the brand new horror franchise business, make a movie with Jason Blumhouse and shit? I don't know why you would not be investing all this passion, talent, time, and money into something that you don't own, given it's not like you're getting the license to the NFL. It's not like you can't compete. Silent Hill is a cult hit. It's like you're dealing with Night of the Living Dead and you guys could be making The Exorcist, which is a much bigger financial hit and a much bigger brand. Or you're dealing with Night of the Living Dead and you guys could have Freddy and Jason and Michael Myers all wrapped up into one. And you want to stay with this because there's a passionate fandom of about 2 million people? I think it's ridiculous. Again, I'm not knocking the fandom. I think that's great. But even the fandom should be like, you know what? What's best for us as fans? What's best for us as fans is more really great horror. And if you've got a company that creates a brand new intellectual property in the horror space, that's only a win. It might motivate someone else to, maybe Konami will pick up Silent Hill if the Metal Gear shit goes well. But don't hobble this. Sony, come on now. Kojima, the only thing I could think of would be if Kojima was only interested in this because he said, look, what I designed when I was at Konami, which means Konami owns it, I don't want to do this if I can't have my design. And my design, unfortunately, is owned by Konami. And Sony likes it enough and they want to be in the Kojima business enough that they're like, okay, this sucks, but, I mean, it would have to be a hell of a design. That kind of would make some sense, maybe. But other than that, I don't know why they're doing this. So let me just say, I think it's great. It is exciting. People ask me all the time, it's like, well, Jaffe, what game are you looking forward to the most? And I never really have an answer because I don't know till I really play it, right? Like if you would have asked me last year, what game are you looking forward to the most? There's no way I would have said Hot Wheels Unleashed, but I'm loving that game almost as much as anything I've played all year. But in this case, if this is a real deal, I will say, what game am I looking forward to the most? The Kojima horror game, because that sounds like an alchemy of just cool shit coming together to go, that's going to be, if nothing else, really worth spending your time with. So I am there for it. But Kojima, my dearest Hideo Kojima, stay the fuck out of Silent Hill. Keep on driving and let the town of Silent Hill fade away into the heavy fog of nostalgia. Can you believe I said that? Can you believe I said that? Right when I started recording this video, I'm like, I'm going to end the video saying that. It's going to be great. And in the back of my head, I'm like, don't say that. You sound like a fucking moron. No, I'm going to say it. I'm going to go for it. And I went for it. And I was right. I sound like a fucking moron. Anyway, Silent Hill, don't do it. Kojima horror? Sony? Fucking do it, baby. Do it hard. See you soon.